Welcome to Cretoni Entertainment. I'm Chris.
And I'm Bree.
And I forgot to put the opening titles onto this. I got to add them on.
Oh, well, when you guys see it, there'll be titles here telling you amazing things.
There will be. We're going to do some Rangers today.
Oh, hi, Rangers.
This is an easy video. This is a quick video. I think this is only like 10 or 12 minutes long. We took all four of the Rangers from the, whatever it's called, Ranger Pack, the Once a Ranger or Legendary Ranger, or I forget the name of it.
I think it's Legendary.
Once a Ranger. Anyway. We took the Rocky, Adam, Aisha, and Kat. We primed them all black, and then we painted them all with that Citadel Runefang steel. We did 2 coats because you don't really want to mix water in with your metallics. There are certain metallic thinners you can get that you can get in a hobby store, or usually a train store. Usually not that expensive at a train store, but I'm not using them here specifically because the everyman video philosophy. I don't want you running out and buying a specialty thinner
that you're rarely going to use.
Correct. So we went ahead and just did 2 coats of Runefang steel, and now all of the Rangers. So this is really quick process. You don't need to see me do that. Now we're doing a Nuln Oil wash on all of the Rangers because we want to darken up the silver, and you can see that the wash is getting in there and creating the definition on these Rangers. Rocky has such a tiny head. I was very disappointed in this pack only because I had this grand plan to take the Red Ranger and my extra Gold Ranger and turn them into Master Red.
Right.
And then Rocky's head was way too small for the Gold Ranger sculpt. So that kind of went out the window. But anyway, Bree has a cold tonight, if you can't tell.
I do. I feel like I could be singing the blues.
But once we've done all the Rangers with the Nuln Oil wash, they're going to look something like that. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into our Runefang steel again. Because we don't necessarily want it to be this dark. Because we're doing metallic armor Rangers, we're subbing silver in for our white. So we're taking our Runefang steel and we're just doing a moderately heavy dry brush of the Runefang steel on the Ranger. Ultimately, you're only going to see this on the boots and the gloves. And why did I do this? Because I was too lazy to actually highlight the boots and the gloves. And a heavy dry brush let me phrase that. A broad bladed dry brush that's wiped off most of the paint will catch those details like the knuckles and the fingers without me having to go through and do them each by hand.
Yeah.
So why am I hitting the entire miniature? Because lightening up the rest of the miniature is going to help. Was that a hiccup?
It's kind of a hiccup burp.
Okay.
Sneeze? I don't know.
Catching the whole miniature like this is going to brighten up the whole miniature.
See, they're brighter.
Which will allow the next step to go on easier. So we're not going to show you all 4 of the Rangers. It's a simple technique. If you've seen them one, you've seen them all. But here's where the contrast comes in. We've got the Yavin yellow, the Blood Angels red, the Volpus pink with the contrast medium, and both Black Templar and Basilicanum gray. It's pretty self-explanatory on a couple of these Rangers, but a couple of them is a little more complicated. So we're going to take our palette, which needs another cleaning here. And we're just going to kind of put the well over there so you can see kind of what we're doing next.
Right.
All right.
It's a medium in.
Yes, so we put a little medium in. And then we need our Volpus pink. And what we're going to do is we're just going to dip our brush in the medium, get in the Volpus pink to thin it down a little bit, because the Volpus pink, if that's how you even pronounce it, comes out very, very dark.
Yes, it does.
It's almost like a magenta sometimes.
Yeah.
But with a little bit of contrast medium, it's going to thin it up a little bit, and it's going to make the color closer to pink than sort of that magenta.
Oh, okay.
So that's what we're going to apply to Pink Ranger here. And you see we're just using a small brush, and we're just basically carefully drawing in the diamonds on the boots. And, we're just trying...
Are you not slathering?
No, we are not slathering here. We do not want to slather here because we don't want it to be that dark magenta color.
Right.
So you see I actually want some silver to shine through here because I want it to be lighter. And you see every time I go to dip back in the contrast, I'm going back into the medium again because I want to keep it under control. It actually occurs to me that I don't know if I did the silver. We'll find out in a second. I don't remember. I don't have the miniature in front of me right now. But basically, you're just being kind of more careful than you would normally be at this stage of a miniature when we're painting a Ranger. We're just trying not to get it on the areas that we want to be white, or in this case, silver. So it takes a little bit of extra time, and I wanted to show you Pink Ranger specifically because of that viscosity of the Volpus, or Volapus, or Vlusbas.
That was some weird alliteration there.
The Volpix pink.
Yeah, the velocity of the Volpix.
The viscosity.
The viscosity.
The velocity. Get it. So I want to show you the viscosity of the pink and kind of how you can thin it down a little bit, because you can see how it's going on. I'm getting a pretty good pink out of this. Yeah. You're not going to get something as like that bubblegum pink that I've used on previous Pink Rangers. Not with a metallic underneath it and not with a contrast paint.
Right.
But that's okay. That's not what we're going for.
Yeah.
We don't care. So... Same thing here. Okay, I did do it. On the skirt, she has that white trim on the skirt piece.
Right.
I left this open.
Oh, look at you. You thought ahead.
And I just tried to do, I honestly could. That's what I was saying. I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember if I did that or not. So this is just what we're trying to keep controlled. And then most of this Ranger's already going to be done, believe it or not. Because
cool.
we're not going to go in depth. We could do additional highlights. We could do other sort of things. We're not. It's an everyman paint job. We want it done relatively fast.
Well, and I have noticed, because I have actually been using a similar technique to this on
your one-page rules minis.
Yes, on the one-page rules minis I've been working on.
So let's get a good look at her dry here.
Yeah.
So this is the full thing dry.
She's shiny. I like her. She's shiny.
Now, before you get back to your thought, we're going to jump right into the Black Ranger, and I want to give everybody a warning. Contrast over metallics rubs off very, very easily with finger oil.
Yes, it does.
So do not touch the Ranger once you have applied the contrast over the metal. Seal it with a matte varnish first. Now, the other reason I wanted to interrupt you is I want to talk about what I'm doing here. I have got some basilicanum gray. I'm using a new well in the palette. Got some basilicanum gray, which I'm adding Black Templar to, because straight Black Templar will actually overpower the silver underneath, and it won't come off as a metallic black. What it will come off as is just black. It'll cover it over. But when you add the basilicanum gray, you're going to lighten the black up a little bit. And you also may have noticed I dipped the brush back in the contrast medium. And now we've got a color that's actually looking like a metallic black. Now, this color is going to take probably 2 or 3 coats. I'm going to warn everybody of that right now. Once this fully dried, at this point, because of the contrast medium, I was getting too much silver coming through.
Right.
But I did a couple of thin contrast coats on Adam here, and it worked out beautifully. So with that said, tell us about your one-page rules minis, because there's not much else to see here except me just kind of carefully paint the mini, and you'll see my fingers are not going where the black is already down.
Yeah, I have noticed while I'm doing my little project over there that if you put too much onto the mini, you absolutely lose that metallic sheen underneath. I'm a little bit worried about the green guy I do, that he kind of lost some of his metallic sheen because I did a dry brush on top, because I didn't necessarily like the color of the green. It was too green, where I was looking for more of a snaky green instead of like a...
What you might consider doing to bring back a little bit of that is take some Runefang steel and do an overbrush over it. So an overbrush is a good example for me to be able to talk about technique while you're watching me just paint Adam. And again, on Adam, just being very careful not to paint the areas that I want to be white or silver. An overbrush is like an extreme dry brushing technique. You're going to take a brush, and if you would wipe off, say, 80 to 90% of your paint with a dry brush, on an overbrush, you're going to keep wiping off your brush until you've wiped off probably 98% of the paint. There's almost nothing left.
I actually did it on the base.
And instead of pushing that against the mini when you brush it, you're just going to barely let the bristles whisper on the miniature while you're doing your dry brushing technique. And it should just pick up the absolute edges with your metallic. And I don't even know what your undercoat is, if it's silver or gold, but Runefang Silver is a brilliant highlight color for silver or gold. So you can see Adam here. You can see a little bit where some of the silver's coming through around his thigh area and his knee on the left leg. This is where I went back over and I did another coat, and it actually made it much, much better. But yeah, if you're working with gold, guys, if you want a good highlight for gold, do an extreme edge highlight of Runefang Steel. You get a brilliant highlight. So the Yalden Yellow and the Blood Angels Red are for Rocky and Aisha, respectively. And there's nothing special about it. We use the same technique. You don't even need the contrast medium. You're just going to paint them on, and then we're going to pull out some Liberator Gold and our Black Templar contrast paint. And we're going to keep moving forward on these Rangers here. So you'll see I also went over their Blade Blasters, and I put the Blood Angels Red on all 4 of them. Nothing special there. No special tech that you need to see. The Liberator Gold is just for their power coins here. You could use the Nasdrag Yellow we've used for gold in the past. In this case, I actually couldn't find it. I had my paint area got a little messy. I couldn't find it quickly, and I said, screw it, I want to finish this video. So I grabbed my Liberator Gold.
But paint area getting a little messy, y'all. He means that he has nearly pulled down every paint he owns.
Not nearly every paint. There's still probably 40% of my paint. I have a lot of paints.
That's not 40%. So anyway, you're cute, though.
The Black Templars for the visors.
Right.
And this is going to go on pretty thick because we want it to obscure the silver here. And there's no real reason I picked Black Templar here over like an Abaddon Black, which we're going to use for the base. I just felt like it. I guess this kind of showcases that you can use either one. I really like the way Aisha came out here. This is the Eoden Yellow. This is not the Nasdrag Yellow we used for like Goldar on that video. And you can see a distinct difference between them.
Yeah, this has got a little bit almost, it's so kind of funny. It almost has a slight hint of green.
Well, you know what you can see on these miniatures. And so here does come the Nasdaq yellow, and you'll see the difference here because this is what's going to go on the Power Axe because the Power Axe has that yellow trim on it. What's interesting is
That was so Rocky and Zach could take it into places of business.
Adam.
Yeah,
they can go to a convention with the Power Axe. What you may have noticed on Aisha is you may have noticed some darker spots on her outfit as well. That's that known oil shining through.
Right.
So it gives you sort of this artificial highlight that you didn't have to do because this is Everman painting, and we're really, really lazy on this channel. So we're just going to trim out Rocky's power sword here. He's just holding it for Jason, not nearly as well. We love you, Rocky. We actually do. I like Rocky. Rocky came into his own as a Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
I think Rocky's only problem as a Red Ranger is that he had to follow up Jason.
Yeah, he was filling some big shoes.
I mean, I actually might like Tommy Oliver if Jason wasn't his predecessor because those were some big shoes to fill as a leader, and Tommy did not fill them. That guy was out for himself. He was arrogant. And I know part of that was the Japanese footage to the American footage.
Yeah.
But Tommy's
Barai was a much more independent character.
Well, no, I was referring to integrating the I think it was Die Ranger, where the White Ranger suit came from with American footage because they didn't have the Mighty Morphin suits for that. So part of that I understand is the writing, but Tommy's version of leadership was, I'll go do this, everybody else stay out of my way. And that's not leadership. Anyway, we go to the Abaddon Black. I'm going to get trolled for that later.
Yeah.
Now, go to the Abaddon Black. You've seen this step 1,000 times. So we're going to pull out that same squid pink we did on previous Pink Rangers. The Flash Goods Yellow we've done on previous Yellow Rangers. The Evil Sun Scarlet we've done on previous Red Rangers. All these colors you've seen before if you follow some of our painting videos. You can use any pink, yellow, red, and black you want. But these are the ones I use. So I paint the top of the base with the Abaddon Black as per always. And I do the trim of the base in the Ranger color, again, as per always. You see I'm breaking my own rule here by actually touching the miniatures. I actually did have to touch up Black Ranger's leg after that. The other one stayed on fairly well, but Black Ranger I did have to touch up there. I have since sprayed them all with Krylon 2X matte varnish sealer. They still retain their metallic sheen, and now I can handle them.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it. Metallic Armor Rangers. I hope you all enjoyed. I know Bree didn't say much. He's not feeling that well. Like and subscribe for more content. Hit the bell button for notification. We will see you next week.
Bye.